Over 60% of Chinese passport applications were denied in 2024. Let that sink in for a second. Imagine 2 out of every 3 people you know being told they can't leave the country. That's the reality in China today, where the government has quietly erected a new kind of Great Wall, one made of bureaucracy and suspicion. This isn't just about exotic vacations or business trips. It's about something far more fundamental: the freedom to move, the right to leave your own country, to see the world, to pursue opportunities elsewhere. These are basic human rights. But in China, these rights are being systematically eroded. The Chinese government claims these restrictions are necessary for national security and to combat crime, but the reality is far more insidious. This is about control. It's about keeping a tight leash on the Chinese people, limiting their exposure to the outside world, and silencing any dissenting voices. This is the new reality for millions of Chinese citizens. Getting a passport in China has always been a bureaucratic headache, but in recent years it's become a nightmare. The process is deliberately opaque, with shifting rules and arbitrary requirements. What was once a right has become a privilege, granted only to those deemed loyal and obedient enough by the state. The government has implemented a dizzying array of new policies and procedures, all designed to make it harder for citizens to obtain passports. These include increased scrutiny of applications, vague and subjective denial reasons, and mountains of paperwork. In some cases, applicants are required to provide proof of employment, bank statements, even letters of recommendation from their local Communist Party officials. It's a system designed to wear people down, to make them give up hope. And for many, that's exactly what happens. Faced with endless delays, intrusive questioning, and the constant threat of being labeled a troublemaker, many Chinese citizens simply abandon their dreams of seeing the world. The dream of exploring beyond their borders remains just that, a dream. The Chinese government has always kept a watchful eye on its citizens, but in recent years, that gaze has become even more intense. Nowhere is this more evident than in the treatment of those deemed high risk, a broad and chillingly vague category that encompasses anyone who might pose even the slightest challenge to the state. This includes journalists, activists, academics, lawyers, anyone who dares to question the official narrative or speak out against injustice. But it also includes ordinary citizens from certain regions or ethnic groups, such as Tibetans and Uyghurs, who are routinely subjected to discrimination and surveillance. For these individuals, obtaining a passport is virtually impossible. Their applications are routinely denied, often without explanation. And even if they do manage to secure the necessary documents, they face harassment and intimidation at every turn. They are subjected to invasive searches at airports. Their phones and laptops are confiscated and examined, and they are interrogated about their travel plans and political views. The scrutiny doesn't end there. Many find themselves followed by plainclothes officers, their every move monitored by an ever-present network of surveillance cameras. The message is clear: dissent will not be tolerated, and the state will go to great lengths to maintain control. The Chinese government's passport restrictions are not just about outright denials. They also rely heavily on bureaucratic obstruction, a labyrinthine system of paperwork, approvals, and endless delays designed to discourage all but the most determined applicants. Citizens are often required to apply for their passports in their official place of residence, even if they live and work elsewhere. This can involve traveling long distances, often multiple times, to navigate a complex web of local government offices. And even then, there's no guarantee of success. Applications can be delayed or rejected for the most trivial of reasons: a missing stamp, a misspelled name, even a perceived lack of enthusiasm for the Communist Party. The message is clear: travel is not a right, it's a privilege, and one that can be revoked at any time. The entire process is designed to be as discouraging as possible, ensuring that only the most persistent individuals can navigate the system. For many, the dream of traveling abroad remains just that, a dream. Section 5. From business deals to family reunions, the far-reaching impact. The impact of China's passport restrictions extends far beyond the individual. It's strangling businesses, hindering academic exchange, and tearing families apart. Chinese companies are finding it increasingly difficult to send employees abroad for conferences, meetings, or to close deals. Students are missing out on opportunities to study at foreign universities, depriving the country of much-needed talent and innovation. And families are being separated, sometimes for years, as loved ones struggle to obtain the necessary documents to reunite. The human cost of these restrictions is immeasurable. It's the crushing disappointment of a student's dreams being dashed. It's the anguish of a family separated by an impenetrable wall of bureaucracy. It's the slow suffocation of a society cut off from the rest of the world. The ripple effects are felt in every corner of life, stifling growth and connection. Section 6. Li Wei's story, a passport denied, a future upended. Li Wei, a young entrepreneur from Shanghai, had poured his heart and soul into his tech startup. After years of tireless work, he was finally ready to take his company global. He had secured a meeting with a major investor in Silicon Valley, a meeting that could change his life. But Li Wei's dreams were shattered when his passport application was denied. No reason was given. He tried to appeal the decision, but his pleas were ignored. The investor meeting came and went, and with it, Li Wei's chance to secure the funding he desperately needed. His startup, once full of promise, is now struggling to survive. Li Wei's story is just one of countless others. It's a stark reminder of the human cost of China's passport restrictions, the dreams shattered, the opportunities lost, the futures upended. For many, the inability to travel means more than just missed opportunities. It represents a loss of hope and a future that remains uncertain. The ripple effects of these restrictions are felt deeply, affecting not just individuals but entire communities and industries. Section 7. Freedom of movement, a fundamental right under threat. The right to leave one's own country is enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's a fundamental freedom, essential for the exercise of other rights, such as freedom of expression, assembly, and association. By denying its citizens this right, the Chinese government is not only violating their human rights, it's also isolating the country from the rest of the world. This isolation breeds fear, suspicion, and ultimately, instability. The international community cannot stand idly by while China tramples on the rights of its people. We must speak out against these injustices and demand that the Chinese government respect the fundamental freedoms of all its citizens. The right to freedom of movement is not just a legal principle, it's a lifeline for millions seeking better opportunities and safety. Without it, the world becomes a smaller, more divided place where fear and control overshadow hope and freedom. Section 8. The irony of visa-free travel, a tale of two Chinas. Ironically, while China is busy building walls to keep its own citizens in, it's also busy dismantling barriers for citizens of other countries. In recent years, China has significantly expanded its visa-free travel policies, welcoming tourists and investors from around the globe. It's a classic case of do as I say, not as I do. The message is clear. China is open for business, but only on its own terms. It wants the world's money and expertise, but it doesn't want its ideas or its values. This two-faced approach is unsustainable. In the long run, China cannot hope to be a respected member of the international community while it continues to deny its own citizens their fundamental freedoms. The contrast between the freedom enjoyed by foreigners in China and the restrictions faced by Chinese citizens is stark. This disparity highlights the ongoing struggle for personal freedom within the country. As the world watches, the pressure on China to align its policies with global standards continues to grow. Section 9. A call to action. Break down the wall, free the people. The situation in China is dire, but it's not hopeless. We can all do our part to raise awareness about the plight of the Chinese people, and pressure the Chinese government to change its ways. Share this story on social media, write to your elected officials, support organizations working to promote human rights in China. Every voice counts, every action matters. Together we can make a difference. For more information on this issue and others like it, check out these organizations: Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and Reporters Without Borders.